Hello and welcome back for another amazing month of gaming in 2026. Now, while February gave us some incredible titles, including our very first Game of the Year contender for Resident Evil Requiem, it seems that March intends to keep that momentum going strong with some incredible releases of its own, including what could potentially be another Game of the Year contender, assuming everything goes right for this game during release. So, curious what March has in store for you? Then see for yourself. These are the top 10 games that you don't want to miss out on this March. Now, let's kick things off with a massive nostalgia trip in Scott Pilgrim EX. A brand new action-adventure brawler from the series creator that will have you saving Toronto and your bandmates from shadowy forces. Step into the shoes of Scott, Ramona, and 5 other fan-favorite fighters alongside up to 3 friends as you team up to take down 3 rival gangs: the Vegans, the Robots, and the Demons, in what I can only describe as over-the-top brawling chaos. So, get ready to rock out when Scott Pilgrim EX drops on all major platforms on March 3rd. Next up, we have Marathon, a brand new first-person extraction shooter from Bungie and their biggest project since Destiny, which drops you onto the hostile planet of Tau Ceti 4 to solve the mystery of an expedition that vanished over a century ago. You play as a cybernetic mercenary known as a runner, who will deploy into unpredictable zones to scavenge for high-tier loot, alien artifacts, and new weapons, all while trying to survive the environmental hazards and rival 3-player squads. And much like other games in the extraction shooter genre, if you die, you lose your gear, making every single run a tense high-stakes gamble. But survive long enough in Marathon and you will unlock the endgame Cryo Archive, where you'll tackle raid-like missions on the UESC Marathon itself. So get ready to risk it all for ultimate payday when Marathon drops on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on March 1st. Now, if you need a break from the intense firefights, then pack your bags and head to Pokemon Pokopia. As one of the first major Pokemon spin-offs for Nintendo Switch 2, this entry seeks to trade gym battles for town building. You arrive on a deserted lush island with the goal of building a bustling utopia for wild Pokemons. You'll find yourself gathering resources, designing habitats, and solving localized mysteries in order to convince different species to move into your charming little town. So, get ready to build the ultimate sanctuary when Pokemon Pokopia launches exclusively on the Switch 2 on March 5th.
Pokemon Pokopia.
Alright, things are about to get messy, and I mean 80s horror messy with John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, a 4-player co-op shooter powered by the Swarm engine. Yes, the same tech behind Space Marine 2's alien-fueled chaos, which has you playing as a squad of commandos dealing with a massive mutant outbreak caused by a supernatural entity known as the Sludge God. You'll hop into heavily armored vehicles with blast classic 80s tunes and mow down literal thousands of infected monsters on screen all at once. The game promises to be loud, bloody, and pure chaotic fun. So get ready to save the world one bullet at a time when John Carpenter's Toxic Commando drops on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on March 12th. Now, for something even darker than Toxic Commando, we have Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake. Considered to be one of the scariest games ever made, this ground-up remake brings the terrifying story of twin sisters Miyu and Mayu to modern consoles. Trapped in the cursed Minakami village, your only defense against the restless, tormented spirits is once again going to be your handy-dandy camera. And this remake features overhauled lighting with some incredibly tense audio design, plus modernized over-the-shoulder controls that make snapping the photos of those lunging ghosts more terrifying than ever. So get ready to face your fears when Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake drops on PC, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series X and S on March 12th. Up next, we have Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. The third entry to the monster collecting spin-off returns with an even darker narrative, tasking you with solving the mystery behind the countless extinctions of monsters in this world. The series' iconic rock, paper, scissors turn-based combat style returns, but this time we're also getting the all-new kinship attack, which are insane-looking ultimate attacks that will feature your monster rider duo. And with dozens of new monsters to collect and a massive new open world to explore, this entry is shaping up to be the series' biggest outing yet. So get ready to ride together when Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection drops on PC, PS5, the Nintendo Switch 2, and Xbox Series X and S on March 13th. Now, get ready for a true next-gen fantasy adventure in Crimson Desert. What originally started as an MMO prequel to Black Desert has since evolved into a massive, breathtaking single-player action-adventure game where you'll play as Cliff, the gritty leader of a ragtag mercenary band trying to survive in the war-torn continent of Pywell. The combat in this game looks to be heavy and dynamic, mixing brutal swordplay with what I can only describe as wrestling moves, because you are literally picking people up and slamming them to the ground. And between the jaw-dropping visuals, incredible boss fights, and just the sheer amount of stuff that they showcase that this game apparently has, this could easily be a Game of the Year contender if they can successfully stick the landing. So get ready to forge your own legend when Crimson Desert arrives on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on March 19th. Next up, we have Mouse PI for Hire, a brilliantly stylized 1930s rubber-hose first-person shooter where you play as Jack Pepper, a hard-boiled anthropomorphic mouse detective navigating a corrupt, noir-soaked cartoon city. With a mix of classic boomer shooter gunplay with hilarious cartoon gags like using dynamite, finger guns, and spring-loaded boxing gloves to blast your way through mobster-filled streets. Now, this game is exactly what it looks like. A playable vintage cartoon with a surprisingly gritty edge. So, get ready to crack the case when Mouse PI for Hire drops on all major platforms on March 19th. Up next, we have high-octane action and 90s anime aesthetics colliding in Screamer, a brutal arcade racer where cars don't just drive, they fight. You'll choose from 5 distinct factions of drivers, each bringing unique abilities to the track in a ruthless quest for glory or revenge. Screamer's gameplay revolves around mastering mysterious echo technology, forcing you to juggle between boost, strike, and shield to unleash blistering bursts of speed and physically smash your rivals off the road. You know, this game is starting to sound an awful lot like Burnout, but just anime. The game features multiple combat-heavy game modes with local split screen and, of course, online multiplayer. So you best believe that simply being the fastest won't be enough to survive this race. So get ready to push past the limit when Screamer drops on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on March 26th. And finally, we end the month with a massive emotional gut punch in Life is Strange Reunion. Bringing the original cast back together, this new narrative adventure forces an older Max Caulfield to confront the long-term consequences of her time-bending past. When a new localized temporal anomaly threatens everything she's built, Max must team up with familiar faces to unravel a mystery that spans multiple branching timelines. With upgraded facial animations and the franchise's signature indie folk soundtrack, you're definitely going to be needing some tissues for this one. So, get ready to rewind time once again when Life is Strange Reunion launches on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on March 26th. Now, if those games weren't enough for you, we do have a few honorable mentions to check out. Starting with Planet of Lana 2: Children of the Leaf, a gorgeous hand-painted puzzle adventure game seeing you return to rescue a new generation, and it's going to be coming to all platforms on March 5th. Next, we have Nevergrave: The Witch and the Curse, an incredible looking 2D roguelike action game where you use a cursed hat to possess your enemies so you can revive again and again, and this title's also going to be dropping on all platforms on March 5th. Then there's a return to the hardcore tactical D&D combat in Solasta 2. Now, if you're looking for your next adventure since Baldur's Gate 3, then you definitely want to check this one out when it drops in early access on PC on March 12th. Next, we also have a long-awaited brand new entry in the Vampire series with Legacy of Kain: Ascendance, bringing its gothic hack and slash action to all platforms on March 31st. And finally, we have Grime 2, the surreal anatomical Metroidvania where you absorb your foes to mutate your weapons, coming to PC also on March 31st. And with that, we've wrapped up another amazing month of gaming in 2026. Now for me, I'm definitely looking forward to Crimson Desert most of all this month, but I'm also very interested in checking out Mouse PI for Hire and Monster Hunter Stories 3. The kinship attacks in that game looked incredible, but I'd love to hear from you. Which of these games are you going to be picking up for yourself this March? And if you're curious about what other games came out in February, then be sure to check out this next video right here.